So, look at all these cool titles that are starting to appear in this new environment. Happiness, what was it? Happiness manager.
Yeah.
Happiness manager. Yeah. Culture captain, happiness manager, growth hacker, right? It is really cool that that's happening. And the idea is because we're changing our culture and our ways of working. And this is what I do. So I'm, in a way, the guardian of the culture of the digital factory. And as Olivier said, I help coach Thales to experiment with this culture. Now, a really cool thing that we had in the digital factory is that we started from scratch. And when you start from scratch, don't hear me? Sorry. When you start from scratch, you can actually start how you want. So we could choose the culture that we wanted in like this new office that we had. And we based ourselves on our key inspiration, which was like the likes of Spotify, SpaceX, a beautiful book called Reinventing Organizations by Frederic Laloux, and where he looks at purpose-built organizations. And also the lean startup, right? Which is where Olivia said, that's where you get the concept of MVP, the concept of testing your assumptions in the market and gathering data from your users and then pivoting or creating a cool product. Now, we put all this in our manifesto. And this for us is like our constitution. So we really, really believe in empowerment over control. We really, really believe in data over opinions. So we love experts, of course, but if we're having a conflict, we will always go back to data. We love to test and learn over plans. As you know, in big organizations, you tend to create a lot of process. And we're starting to go, okay, well, what if we test a bit more? Test and try out things. Collaboration over protection. Get away from silos, departmental silos, engineering disciplines. We're all the same. We all have to collaborate. Because if not, in this market that goes really fast, we won't get anywhere, right? Users over customers. Again, Olivia said, this is so important. We always think of customers as our end users, but they're not. So we really have to bring people closer to the users. And of course, failure over not trying. If you don't try things, you're not going to get anywhere. But when you try things, you can fail. It's okay to fail. Nobody likes to fail. We don't like to fail either, but it means we're okay with failure. So all this translates into 3 values that we look in people. Because as Olivia said, we need talent. In this new world, we need really, really good talent so that we can advance in our markets. And we look for 3 values: hungry, humble, and aware. These values are very key for us. And this is how we make our culture, through the people that have these values. Now, in terms of how we work, because I'm giving you a whirlwind tour of how we work at the Digital Factory, it's translated as, okay, you know the thing I said about empowerment over control? Well, we have squads. The squads, from the Spotify model, so we work in Scrum, and these squads really deliver something every 2 weeks that is potentially shippable to the users. And they're empowered. They're completely empowered to work how they want, to do what they have to do, which is their MVP. That, for us, really is empowerment over control. For us, that really means as well the idea of distributed decision-making. This comes from the concept of Teal. And Teal is from that book that I talked about, Reinventing Organizations. And because you're taking away that hierarchical structure, again, because we have a flat structure, now we behave more like a living organism. A living organism means that anyone can make any decision because everyone is tied to the ecosystem. So everyone can make a decision. So long as, of course, you get advice from the people who you will impact. But that's real empowerment. If you don't have accountability, it's because you don't have empowerment. And empowerment doesn't mean delegation, okay? I hear this a lot. Delegation for me means micromanaging. I don't know if any of you think the same, but for me it means micromanagement. And for me, empowerment really means that people can make decisions. It also means that for conflict resolution, because we don't have a hierarchical structure, we have to solve ourselves our conflicts. We don't go to the boss. Okay? We have methods to solve it ourselves, just like we can make any decision ourselves. And also, even though I've been introduced as the culture captain. We don't have titles. We don't have job titles. We have roles. And when you have roles, it means that anyone can pick up any role. So we have role cards that describe exactly what a designer should be doing. And it gives the success criteria and the failure criteria. But it means that anyone can pick up that role. Anyone can pick up the role of a scrum master, of a product owner, of a developer, of a designer, of a data scientist. Okay? So long as, and of course, we will help you gain that capability. But as you see now, you start to see how the digital manifesto really means something for us. And I think that's the thing. We're starting to see how before companies were getting values and manifestos of how to work, but it wasn't really translated in real life. And we're really seeing it in real life. This is really how we work. And that's the only way it can be. Because now, I'm going to be controversial, okay? Here's my disclaimer. But I hear a lot of bullshit messages. Okay? And a bullshit message for me means when a company gives a value and it doesn't actually do it. And in the Digital Factory and in Thales, this is what we do. We've actually changed our culture to not give bullshit messages, to actually show in practice what we do.